New York is one of the states of the United States of America. It is located in the northeast of the United States of America on the Atlantic Ocean. Its capital is Albany. It is the 27th state in terms of area, the 3rd in terms of population, and the 7th in terms of population density in the United States, 50 states. New York is bordered by New Jersey and Pennsylvania to the south, and Connecticut, Massachusetts, and Vermont to the east. The state also has maritime borders with Rhode Island east of Long Island, as well as international borders with the Canadian province of Ontario to the west and north, and Quebec to the west. North. New York State is often referred to as New York State to distinguish it from New York City. New York City, with a population of over 8,100,000 people, is the most populous city in the United States. They alone constitute more than 40% of the population of New York State. It is known for its status as an economic and cultural center and its status as the largest gateway for immigration to the United States. According to the U.S. Department of Commerce, New York City is also a favorite destination for foreign visitors from many countries. Both the state and the city were given this name in reference to 17th century Duke of York, James Stuart, later also James II, 7 of England and Scotland. New York was inhabited by various Algonquin and Iroquoian tribes who spoke the indigenous language at the time of Dutch settlers who moved to the area in the early 17th century. In 1609, Henry Hudson first claimed the area for the Dutch. In 1614, Fort Nassau was built near the present-day location of the capital, Albany. Also around this time, the Dutch colonized New Amsterdam and parts of Hudson River Valley, and established the colony of New Holland. Then the British took the colony by annexing it to their total territory in 1664. The borders of the British colony were New York County, almost similar to the borders of the state today. About a third of the battles of the Revolutionary War took place in New York. The state constitution was issued in 1777. New York became the 11th state to ratify the United States Constitution, on July 26, 1788. It is divided into a number of areas, each with a different character, the most famous of which is New York City, then an undefined area called Upstate New York, which is inhabited by the wealthy and has a quiet nature. The state consists of 62 districts, and the total area of the state is 141,300 square kilometers. New York has a distinct position in the United States because the largest financial center in the world. It houses the headquarters of the United Nations. The first port in the United States. New York State is bordered to the east by Vermont and Connecticut, to the north by the Canadian provinces of Ontario and Quebec, to the south by New Jersey, and to the west by Pennsylvania. The Hudson River crosses the state to its mouth in New York City, where mountains cut through the valley. The Appalachian River is the Mohawk River, which extends from the city of Rome to the capital city of Albany. Among the famous lakes are Lake Champlain, Lake George, Lake Placid, and Lake Saranac. Mount Marcy is considered the highest mountain in the state, with a height of 1,629 meters and is located near Lake Placid. In the northwestern part of the state there is the Niagara River, where there are Niagara Falls on the US-Canadian border with a picturesque view. The state capital is Albany, with a population of 91,993. Other large cities include New York City, Rochester, Buffalo, and Syracuse, according to 2003 statistics. New York has a number of protected natural forests, including the Adirondacks, which have an area of 2 million hectares, and there are also Catskills forests, which have an area of 250,000 hectares. During the Ice Age that ended almost 10,000 years ago, a thick layer of ice covered the entire area that is now known as New York, and the ice helped form a number of beautiful natural features in this state. New York City has the largest natural harbor in the world. Among its most important rivers are the Hudson and Mohawk rivers, which are important water trade routes in the country. Most of the lakes in New York State are located in the Adirondack region in the north. In the eastern part of the state, Lake Erie and Lake Ontario, which are located on the US-Canadian border, are among the largest lakes in New York. New York State consists of 8 distinct land territories. The Atlantic Coast Plains region covers Long Island, Staten Island, and the residential areas of New York City, which are located at the southeast end of the state's mainland. Fishing and agriculture are practiced in this area. Long Island is also a popular small resort. New England Highlands Province, an area of low-lying plateaus and mountains extending along the lower half of New York's eastern border. In this region there is Manhattan Island, which is located in the heart of New York City. The Hudson-Mohawk Lowland Territory covers most of the Hudson River Valley and the Mohawk River Valley. These lowlands are the only viable routes across the Appalachian Mountains. The climate in New York State in general is known for its humidity due to the state's proximity to the Atlantic Ocean. But temperatures vary depending on the season. In the winter, especially January and February, average temperatures are below zero. On the Atlantic coast, winter temperatures are colder than in the western part of the state, but the climate in the western part of the state is known for its abundance of clouds compared to the southeastern part of New York State. The abundance of clouds in the western part of New York State is due to the abundance of rivers and valleys that evaporate with the heat of the sun in the summer, especially in June, July, and August. New York State suffers slightly from excessive heat emissions resulting from the large use of transportation in large cities in